Magandang araw! Welcome back to the PPS-STC Sigla sa E-skwela Tele-Advocacy Series. Noong nagsimula ang pandemya, marami ang nagbago sa mga pang-araw-araw na gawain natin. At isa na dito ay ang paggamit ng mga bata ng electronic screens, gaya ng computer, laptop, tablet at smartphones. Alam natin kailangan nila ito at karamihan sa mga bata ay may online classes. At dahil dito, ang mga pediatricians ng Southern Tagalog chapter ay nais na magbigay ng gabay sa mga magulang, guro at sa mga mag-aaral kung ano at paano ba ang tamang paggamit ng electronic screens. Kaya't samahan niyo kami at pakinggan natin si Dr. Luisa Diaz, isang developmental and behavioral pediatrician.
COVID-19, Rethinking Screen Time. Media is everywhere. Digital media and screens are now a pervasive part of our children's lives. A child on an average spends around 7 hours on the screen. This now includes a variety of media platforms, including television, computers, phone, gadgets, and other electronic devices. These poses both positive and negative effects on children's development. Due to this ever-present influence that media has on children, the American Academy of Pediatrics came up with a recommendation for children's media use. The AAP recommendations for screen time says that for children younger than 18 months, avoid use of screen media other than video chatting. Parents of children 18 to 24 months of age who want to introduce digital media should choose high-quality programming and watch it with their children to help them understand what they're seeing. For children ages 2 to 5 years, limit screen use to 1 hour per day of high-quality programs. Parents should co-view media with children to help them understand what they are seeing and apply it to the world around them. For children ages 6 and older, place consistent limits on the time spent using media and the types of media, and make sure it does not take the place of adequate sleep, physical activity, and other behaviors essential to health. Designate media-free times together, such as dinner or driving, as well as media-free locations at home, such as bedrooms. For some families, these recommendations prove to be quite challenging. But this posed an even greater challenge with the emergence of the pandemic. The pandemic imposed on us various limitations such as staying at home and social distancing. With these restrictions, families started to rely on digital media more and more. Parents started working from home. Children shifted to online school, and even leisure and recreation activities started to involve the use of digital media. We are now almost a year and a half into the pandemic. Setting rules around screen time may feel impossible. How much is too much? Does remote learning count? What about gaming with friends? And what if you, like many parents right now, are just too exhausted to fight about it? The big question is, how can children and families make the most of the increased reliance on screens while also finding the right balance with other important activities? There's no one right answer when it comes to managing screen time during this ongoing crisis, but a lot of different experts share some important tips and advice to help set reasonable expectations on media use to support you and your family during these trying times. To help remember these nuggets of wisdom, just remember the word screen. We know the negative effects of screen time. Having a choice between playing with peers, interaction with friends, or staying at home using gadgets, the choice is pretty obvious. However, with the ongoing threat of the pandemic, safety comes first. That's why it's important for parents to remember that you are doing what is best for your children, keeping them at home. And if using media can help in providing them with various activities to engage in, then it may be the best platform for now. But the key is knowing how to effectively balance and use media responsibly, and that starts with focusing on the content. UNICEF's report, Growing Up in a Connected World, states that while a small group of children will inevitably encounter adverse experiences when they use digital technology, this is not only directly related to the time they spend online. Rather, when considering such experiences, attention should also be paid to what children do online, the content they encounter, their life environment, and support networks in general. Not too much, not too little, but just the right amount of screen time seems to be optimal for children. Parents can be more involved in what children do online by talking about their online experiences, observing their children's behavior while using the screen, using digital media to learn and create new things, or actively joining them while doing the online activities. This way, parents can monitor the content that their children engage in online and can also be a fun way to spend time with their kids. This pandemic has thrown our children in a loop. They have been forced to stay indoors for more than a year now. That's why, in setting reasonable limits, it is important to start with compassion. Letting your children know that you understand their needs is a simple way to reduce stress for everyone. Keep a schedule and be firm in its implementation. The AAP recommends making a family media use plan that will be very individualized to each family's unique needs. Set specific times of day or week when your child knows when they'll be allowed to use their screens. This kind of structure helps kids know what to expect and cuts down on their requests for screens at other times. Plus, it gives you space to schedule other tasks at the time when you know your children will be busy. Incorporate dedicated playtime with your children. Have device-free meals at home, no screen time before bedtime, are also some reasonable limits that you can implement at home. Once you set a schedule, your children may push back against it, but always remember to be consistent and firm. Your children will learn to stick to the schedule better in this manner. And most importantly, in setting limits, it is important to model healthy screen use. If you make a point of setting aside your own screens during set times, your children will be more likely to do the same without putting up a fight. Plus, taking breaks from media has the added effect of helping you limit your own media intake and giving you moments of mindfulness with your kids. Problems begin when media use displaces physical activity, hands-on exploration, and social interaction in the real world, which are all critical to learning. Too much screen time can also harm the amount and quality of sleep. Always remember that it is important that we emphasize wellness in our children. You may ask yourself these questions. Is my child sleeping enough and eating a balanced diet? Are they getting some form of exercise every day? Are they spending some quality time with family? Do they use some screen time to keep in touch with friends? Are they invested in school and keeping up with homework? If the answer is yes to these questions, then it's good that you are keeping your child's health a priority. It is also important to take note that we should not only monitor the amount of time spent on screen, but also how the use of screen influences their day-to-day activities. If, for example, your child spends too much time alone in his room scrolling through social media or gaming, and they are not eating or sleeping properly, then it is time to intervene. During these times, digital media can be the best way to stay connected and engaged with others. Connecting with family and friends virtually may not be the best substitute for the real thing, but it is the safest way for now. Celebrating special moments via Zoom, engaging in interactive games with cousins and friends, chatting up with friends over snacks can prove to be valuable at this time. Almost a year and a half into the pandemic, and most of us parents are tired, worn out, and stressed. It is so easy to succumb to digital media and let it consume our lives. It's the easy way out, right? But now is not the time to give up. Now is the best time to continue being patient and remember that having compassion is much more important than getting the rules just right all the time. Be aware that the reason that you and your children might be struggling could also be because of the pandemic itself and not just excess screen time. Now is the time to never give up. Let us continue rethinking of ways of how we can use digital media to help us through these turbulent times and continue enriching our children's lives. Thank you.
Kaya't laging tandaan, screen time ay kabayaan. At para sa marami pang advocacy videos ng aming chapter, mag-like, share at subscribe na sa PPS-STC YouTube channel. Salamat!